We're live. Hello.
Hey, Scott, how you doing?
Doing well, Denise. Thanks for joining me today.
Oh, it's great to see you. I know you've been really busy promoting your latest indie documentary, Witness Underground, and I've been helping you to share that everywhere.
You've
So
been
it's been
you've been
really
helping a
good.
lot. It's been
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
Yeah.
been good. And I'm loving the response. I mean, we've actually got a Kickstarter up to 65% fulfilled, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly. We're shooting for 20,000 and we're at almost 13,000, 12,835
That's in
right now
dollars. And if
in
you're
dollars.
in
Yeah.
pounds, like I am in the UK, our goal is about just over £16,000, and we are already 10,500. So
Yeah.
got a week to go till the Saturday, the 18th of November. And I'm sure that you're going to really want to pledge by the time
Yeah.
you've seen our interview. So
And what's the thing? I think a lot of people might get just thrown off by that. Like we've made this is the film coming out. This is the film being available. If you want to support the film, you're actually getting the movie and the extras and all the stuff we've ever dreamed to create. So
yeah,
and all the
okay.
music from the movie plus and the soundtrack plus all the other music that came after the scene, and then all the extended music and all the books, including your book. It's like it's
Yeah,
not like, hey, we need your money. You've been donating money to a cult for 35 years. Now give it some of it to us. It's like, like support the movie and get it because it's awesome.
yeah,
Like a way more stuff than we've ever had available. It's actually you get the movie.
exactly. So so you and I met in 2019, and we did your very first interview in your XJWdoc series on your Patreon,
Yeah.
and that was for promoting my book, which was Rising from the Ashes of Jehovah's Witnesses. And
Yeah.
so you've gone on from interviewing me, who's to actually do a series of interviews over the years since then, and then you decided to make this indie documentary. So I'm going to
Exactly.
all about that. But first of all, I'd love to play a 3-minute promo for everybody so they can see.
Yeah,
So
let's do that. We have your video up first that we did. I mean, but can you change it to the other video? Is that easy for you to do?
yeah, let's have a look at what Scott and I did back in 2019 to promote my book.
Yeah.
Matchbox houses, life rushes by and I wonder why. Safe and sound, dead on the inside. Is my life gonna pass me by?
Hi everyone, this is Denise Wise, and she's just finished a book. So we're going to talk about her new book that just came out and some of her background.
I've written a story about my life as a Jehovah's Witness and then coming out of that and what I've done with my life since then, how it's affected me and my family. And the book that I can show you is called Rising from the Ashes of Jehovah's Witnesses. And my author alias is Isis All Things.
Right. Okay, I've stopped sharing now, so hopefully I can hear you.
Muted. Yeah, sorry, I was muted. That's the first interview I did, and it's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Again, because it's like the very first just laptop podcast, have a conversation with somebody type interview, and I was excited that you reached out because I hadn't done that in a way to like promote or show off someone's art before, and so that was fun.
It
It's
was
kind of
my
cool to watch.
first time as well.
Oh yeah, nice.
Because obviously that's my first book, and I've never plucked up the courage to actually promote myself. So we were both new at that, and
Yeah.
it went really well. I loved it. So
Yeah,
obviously you've honed your movie making skills over the last few years, and
yeah.
I'd like to just show everybody your.
Yeah, let's go for it. The
promo.
Kickstarter is so special, and Ryan from the movie, Ryan Sutter, him and I got together before the campaign. We're like, let's do this. Let's actually put the movie out there in the biggest way we can possibly imagine, everything we've dreamed to put together. And then we put together this video.
Okay,
So
let's
go
do
ahead and
it.
share that. And it's been a lot of fun to make. Like it's a challenge, and the time crunch is crazy, but I've been really enjoying the process.
Showing.
You have to share, you have to present again. And I'll put it up on stage. There we go. Maybe start it over.
Nuclear Gopher, what?
Stuck with what we have authorized. You'll be safe.
So I made a documentary about artists escaping the cult.
Hi, I'm Ryan Sutter. For 16 years, I ran a record label for Jehovah's Witness artists, and Witness Underground is our feature documentary. Nuclear Gopher was a record label and online community of Jehovah's Witnesses who all did indie music.
Within the confines of an elusive cult, an alternative music community thrived, deprogramming themselves through art.
Poignant live performances punctuate tragic stories of loss to beautifully illuminate shunning by Jehovah's Witnesses.
Hi, I'm Scott Homan. I am the director. I had this deep need to tell a very personal story, but I didn't want to make a movie about me. With Nuclear Gopher, we have an incredible example of an undiscovered music scene, a lost collection of 30 plus albums and short films, a community to celebrate, a bond stronger than faith.
There's a new documentary about the Jehovah's Witnesses every year, and they all follow a fairly similar pattern. They revel in the trauma and the sensationalism. This film's different. Everyone in this film navigated cult mind control, survived it, and chose to live a better life. Nuclear Gopher was a world of its own, with movies and music and memories and some of the greatest friendships and relationships of my life. Also, some of my favorite albums. And this movie celebrates and shares that, but also shows that creativity is a powerful force in our lives.
Any of those people at the core of the scene later got out of the religion and used self-expression to process their trauma through compelling and powerful music.
We've all lost someone close to us, but imagine everyone you've ever known choosing to cut you off. It's easy to get lost in anger towards religious leaders or organizations or people who are actually shunning you. But that's the purpose. It's a punishment you're supposed to suffer and crawl back.
I wanted to show another perspective, another path that is based in self-empowerment, finding your own voice through music and art. In Ryan's story, I found something deeply relatable, losses not just of our families trapped inside, but of innocence, love, community, of great times hanging out with genuine people, the bond forged between artists. I used to be in a band myself with my brother, and I knew intuitively that with the power of music, we could cut to the emotional core of the story and make a powerful impact on society.
We're raising finishing funds in order to distribute and release Witness Underground professionally.
Even if you can't support the project financially, by sharing this in email, social media, in groups with friends and family, you're already helping us accomplish our goals. For maximum social impact, we want Witness Underground to be easy to find and watch on common streaming services. Your contribution will help us make it available everywhere. Thank you so much for supporting our campaign.
Okay, so if you need to find the link, it's easy because it's www.witnessunderground.com. Takes you straight there, and you can pledge. And basically, your funds won't go out of the account until the deadline, which is November the 18th.
17th for USA, 18th for UK.
UK, it's Saturday here, yeah.
So, Pacific midnight, next Friday midnight for California.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can pledge whatever you like. And then if we reach our total, the money will go out of your account. If we don't reach the total, what happens then, Scott?
You don't get charged anything ever. And we're going to be successful because you're going to help us. That's what's going to happen.
We're going to do it. Yeah. But we'll have to start all over. So please help.
Yeah, please take a look at it. It's like everything we've ever dreamed to create, and it's super exciting moment because We finished it. It's an award-winning film. Got to 11 film festivals, and it's been the time of our lives putting this out there, and we've learned a lot. And now we've created the path to go fully independent and in our release, which means we get to decide where it goes, where it lives, make the different agreements. And
Yeah.
we've already got a deal where it's in libraries. Like, things are happening, which is it's exciting. And
Yeah.
this is something we've been looking at and trying to figure out, and we finally figured it out. And we just need a little bit of money to get there. What the cool thing is, you're not just giving us money, we're selling the film and the music. So you get all the things that are awesome for it.
Yeah.
And
Pledge
it's
packet.
it's not like you're getting a sticker and a poster, which a poster would be cool and a sticker would be cool, but like, you're getting really cool stuff. You're getting a soundtrack to your future and the movie and all the stuff, like the back end of it all, and the community. We have a Discord, like, jump in. It's all, we're trying to like gather all the creative people from this community and expand that, and maybe I'll collaborate to do something new in the future. But first, we're like, where's the audience? Come and join us in this thing.
The trailblazer, Scott, because as you say, a lot of the Witnesses movies, or the people that have made movies like Apostasy, it's been a bit doom and gloom, a bit, this is what it's like being in this cult of Jehovah's Witnesses. But you're showing the fun side, the side that, you can be creative, and look how much it's helped us, and it was fun, And also, when people have left, the dreaded word shunning is obviously in the movie. So if you just wanted to explain briefly what the shunning is, then people will understand.
Shunning's a little known word or concept to the greater population of the planet. Basically, it's complete cutoff by family and community. And people that leave a high control or a dangerous coercive cult, high control religion, often face that kind of punishment. And it's one of the ways to determine if you're in a healthy community or if you're not. If there's a dignified way to leave, people are like, oh, you're leaving? Oh, okay, cool. Let us know when you're back. Or if you ever want to hang out. And if it's like a coercive group, they're like, you must be following Satan. You're not one of us. Like, you're not allowed to talk. We're going to punish you now with emotional abuse. And it's a form of emotional abuse. So that was my experience, and what fueled why I wanted to tell this story was like, okay, it's not just a religion that is benign and people that are well-meaning are a part of it. It's actually dangerous, and it has affected my life in a terrible way. And I feel like I probably got dealt, although I got dealt the full shunning, I probably had a more balanced and like lighter version of the entire religious or cult experience. And I felt like I have the emotional stability, or maybe like the positive life situation where I can spend the time looking at this traumatic situation, whereas a lot of people might not have that ability. So I want to make a movie about it, partly as my activism, but also because I can. I don't think everyone can do that.
So you and me both qualify as apostates, otherwise known as heretics.
Yeah.
Because we've not only been shunned and disfellowshipped, but we've also gone out there in the public view and talked about our experience, what goes on behind closed doors in a cult. And the good luck stories are, in the movie, you're focusing on this amazing group of youngsters who used rock music and making videos as an outlet. And it also helped them to leave. Once they'd left, it helped them to heal, to carry on that healing process of just being creative and telling the world how they feel about it, which is great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think that kind of came out of, like, I naturally had a desire to talk. You and I have both been musicians, or both are musicians. And that has always drawn me like my whole life. And I think I intuitively needed to work with people who are in that space, just to like maybe to even get through the process of making the film. But I think through the making of it, I learned that the music itself and the self-expression, the movie making that they were doing and that I was doing, the writing that some of the people in the film did, they became authors. Like, that was the processing method to get through the trauma and then process it and be done with it in a sense, and then move on.
Yep. absolutely. It's called purging.
Okay.
So I did the same as you, and it's taken a long time over the last 30 years since I left to write the book, and then to write a load of music tracks with a rock musician, the latest ones. And then, also I've written a second book, which is so much lighter and easier because it wasn't about this cult.
Yeah.
And it was fun, it's just, so now I've broken through to the really fun, creative side of that process, and I'm really enjoying that. And
That's awesome.
yeah,
I want to get there because I have, this movie's been really heavy and personal, and there is a light levity to the opening and the end. It's like it's bookmarked with beautiful, fun things, which it was important to me to do that. But I'm really looking forward to what I do next, because for me, this movie is a story I started 8 years ago.
yeah,
And I shot 5 years ago, and it's been done for years. And it's like, we have to get it out in the world. So this is the getting it out moment. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I've already shot another whole like short film, possibly another feature.
wow.
I have to decide on what I'm going to do with it in the edit. And then like, I want to make another thing. And like, I'm sort of finding the crew right now. So like, as much as I'm excited to like, get Witness Underground, I'm also like, this is my team to make the next one, and what are we going to do that's like hopefully on a different topic? Because I would like to have like a
Awesome.
let's just celebrate and have some fun.
I know. I mean, I literally took 13 years to get that book published. When you interviewed me, that was 2019. I finished it. And I'd moved out of the big city of London and moved to the country, and it helped me to have more time to finish it. But I just got so intrigued by the place I'd moved to, which was all medieval history in Norwich, in Norfolk. And so I started researching and writing the second book while I was finishing the first book. And I think that's what got me through, because the heaviness of having to go over those experiences, write about what are the flags of a cult, what do you see going on behind closed doors, which we've mentioned, about paedophilia and how that's dealt with in the organization, not very well. So all that heavy stuff, and then, all the joyful stuff. And then just feeling like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders once I had the book in my hands, and I was able to just focus on the next project,
Yeah.
But now that, a few years have elapsed, I feel quite joyful about the whole thing. I think I've purged all those heavy emotions, and just grateful for the process that we've both been through, that we've really healed, and that we can now help other people. Let's hope that anyone who's watching this will find it encouraging and be inspired perhaps to do something similar. And if they want to join with either of us and be creative, they can get in touch with us as well. So that
exactly. And that's something I don't know that everyone in our greater team is down for. Most of them are, though, I think. And like, I want to create a environment where people that are interested in doing what you've done and what I've done reach out and like ask how to do it, and we'll be there to sort of lend support in at least like advice, if not like actually become like a consultant for their project in a sense, like create a creative support system to help people narrow the time it takes to go from I have an idea to I'm going to go do it and finish it.
Oh yeah. I mean, you've obviously done so much of that, having to actually tout your movie around to indie festivals in the US, and you visited, how many was it? 10?
11. Yeah, we got into 11. Yeah,
that's a lot.
And I don't know if you remember Camilla Didina. She did Debutante. She's an ex-witness Polish woman in Dublin. She did this beautiful film from the woman's perspective, and I helped her. She was my second interview. She was crowdfunding that film, and then while we were just on the heels of finishing the film festival run for Witness Underground, she was in a film festival and going through all across UK, Ireland, and the States. And so she's like, hey, I can't make it to the US. Can you rep the film? So then I was on tour again with her film as a rep for her film, which is really, really fun and interesting. And then I went to Ireland to help her with that, or just meet her, really. But I had a lot of fun. But like now there's like
a journey on Facebook thinking, this guy's having too much fun here. It's like one party after the other, and there was always the after party after movie screenings. It's like, I used to work in the movie industry, and before that in the music industry. So I have actually seen that side and been part of it, but not for my own projects. So I need to do something like that as well, actually.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
thought about doing a book tour? I mean, I guess right now it's in Rising from the Ashes of the Jehovah's Witnesses is available on the Kickstarter right now.
Yeah.
And but so in a way we're inviting you on and I mean you're hosting this at the moment, but like this is like another book tour for you in a way. Do you think you'll
Yeah.
ever do like an in-person one? Or have you ever tried that?
Either the book tour or, you know, we've got an album that we wrote, David
Oh yeah,
Donnelly,
yeah.
during the lockdown. And
Mhm.
we wrote 11 tracks. And so what we're doing is we're
Oh wow. That's new.
releasing the singles as we go. So we've released
Cool.
3 singles already,
Yeah.
and we're just about to get the 4th one mastered and the video finished.
Very cool.
And
How
then
fun is that?
another one after that. So yeah, we're kind of cracking through, and then obviously we'd love to start doing some local gigs and see where we go
Oh
from
wow.
there.
Very cool. That's so fun. I haven't performed live in so long, but it's like it's a time of life. Like I don't know, I'd spend like 10-15 hours preparing for a 30-minute live gig, and it's all of it's fun, and then you perform and it's like, okay, you're like it's such a present moment.
Yeah.
You know, you're 100% in that moment with that audience.
Yeah.
Singing your own music is special. When's the last time you performed?
Well, I did actually do a couple of small book fairs in the summer, where I was asked if I would perform some of my songs as well.
Oh wow.
So
Did you?
yeah, I've done that a couple of times.
Very
Yeah,
cool. That's awesome.
yeah. So that was good fun. I mean, not the rock songs because it wasn't the right atmosphere for that. It was like a mind, body, spirit type of fair.
Okay.
So we did the acoustic versions,
Yeah.
and you know, it's great. It's just it's something that I'd love to do some more of. So I'm working on that plan.
Cool.
And what I wanted to ask you, Scott, is how did you get into making movies? Because you were obviously raised in the Witnesses, then you weren't, and then you were a mechanic. Is that right? How did you go from that to being a movie producer?
Yeah, the stint where I did mechanic work is a very short stint, although I still do that. I've swapped the engine and transmission on my own vehicle a number of times because I have a Volkswagen and you have to. But
Yeah.
that was like a survival situation. I grew up fixing stuff, but
Yeah.
that was more like when the recession happened. Okay, what can I do that I could actually get a job? But I went to school for electrical engineering. Okay, movies. That was the main question. Our high school.
Yeah, I didn't know
going
that
way
you
back.
went to school for electrical engineering. So that's you know, it's such a departure what you're doing now,
Yeah.
where you were.
Everyone in the engineering world's like, you also make movies, and everyone in the film world's like, you have a boring engineering job. Like, don't tell anyone that.
Oh, I was
it's
a
funny.
PA. That's really boring, being a secretary all the time.
Yeah.
So it's possible to make the transition. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, and that's actually an interesting point I'll get to. Is that like you can change your career. You can be 50 years old and get out of this religion and then go do everything you dreamed of in
Yeah.
actually a really, really short period of time because you're dedicated and you're an adult. Where I was trying to be a rock star when I was a teenager, and I don't know how to do anything as a teen. You don't know how to do anything when they're a teenager. And so like you kind of just don't accomplish it very fast usually or not at all.
Take drugs and basically forget what you're supposed to be doing. Or the objective of this was.
Right. And you never learn dedication or like stick to things because you're a kid. Whereas if you're an adult, you can knock something out of the park in a couple of years and make all the connections you need to make and be smart and strategic about it and like shorten the time it takes to accomplish your goals and live the dream. And there's a bunch of people on our team who've done that. And we've all gotten out of the religion at different times, but gone for the arts. And a lot of us have done that.
Self-employed.
Yeah, most of my life's been self-employed. I think that's like we could do a whole hours on this, but not having university as an option in that religion forced every one of us to do something different, to try to find your own path. And mine often was find someone who's an expert at the thing I want to do and build a relationship with them and then ask them to teach me how to do it. That's like such a crazy fast track. I actually want to write a chapter of my future book about that, like getting paid to learn. And like flip the coin, like university, you pay them to teach you something that they think is valuable. And they're a for-profit corporation who wants to maximize the amount of time and money you spend on their organization. And they want you to keep coming back for more and be a repeat customer. Where if you talk to the master of it, they're going to cut straight to well, this is how you make money. This is how you do the thing. This is what's important. This is what's not important. And like pretty soon you're like, you have 95% of what you need in 10% of the time. And it's amazing. And you got paid to learn it. Like that's like a very special thing that a lot of ex-witnesses have figured out. And I don't know, you can get to where your goals fast.
Sure. Yeah, I did that when I was working in those industries. I was finding out and observing how people got together and did co-writing and how to put on a showcase. And, and then with the writing, I've teamed up with other writers and found out how to use Amazon, how to upload my own books so that I don't have to use a publishing company anymore.
Yeah.
And so learned a lot in the last few years and bursting with new ideas all the time. So
yeah, there's a lot of parallels in that indie publishing. There's reasons like it's good to hire an editor, and there's good things to do that can like make your product better and that's an indie decision to make. But like getting it out and like avoiding the publisher, like that can be a trap. And like people think, oh, I'm published or my film is distributed by this company. It could be amazing for your movie or your book, but there's a lot of parallels to the path that we've both taken, which is to go fully independent. That I realize it's the best thing for this film, because those companies and the deals that I've found, and I've hired someone to get me offers, to get me deals who's in the industry. And I actually really like the guy. Actually, there's two different people that I worked with, and the deals they were able to get me were terrible deals, where that company would own 100% of the rights to the movie, could shelve it if they want to, would package it in certain ways where they would take all the profits and I would never get anything. They wanted $10,000 to $30,000 up front. They want to own the rights to the movie for 25 years. And they also don't care about it. Like, I care deeply about this movie, and I will do everything it takes for the rest of my life to make sure that it has the best potential to affect change in the world. And for them, it's just one more title in a catalog of thousands.
Yeah.
That's not a good situation. So going fully independent allows us to do a lot of things and keep the money that comes from it and keep on telling important stories. And
so I'm going to just come back to the Kickstarter now. So Kickstarter is basically a place where you can crowdfund, and it's going to help Scott to do 2 years of marketing, hopefully. And you want to stream these independently run streaming platforms like Apple, and what are some of the others?
Yeah, Tubi is the big one in the indie film world, and they're an ad base. They have 8 ads in the time of the runtime of our film, 80 minutes. It's like every 8 to 12 minutes, I got to put in like, here's a commercial break at exactly this frame, and this is what we'll title the thing. So it's like you get a lot of control, and Tubi pays really well from the ads that they do insert into the film. And then there's like 35, 38, something more with this particular platform we're using called Film Hub, where we can potentially get on all of them or some of them. They have to submit, and then they have to decide. Tubi is the easiest to get on, and they pay the best. And then there's a number of other creative outlets, and eventually Amazon and Apple, even though they're in terms of like the economics of it, the worst, but in terms of the social impact, some of the best, because their audiences are gigantic. Amazon's by far the biggest in the world.
Yeah.
Tubi has like 1% share, and I think Amazon's like 16 or 18% share, something like that. But they pay like 1 penny per 1 hour of viewing. Whereas like the library deal we just got in, just again, the weeds about it, they pay 50 cents for 30-second view. It's like 50 times better than Amazon to be in a library for me, or for our company.
And the idea behind the library for kids was to educate them about the dangers of cults, right? That's your drive.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just for kids, because it's not really a made for kids movie. I mean, people of all ages use libraries, but I haven't in a long time. So yeah, it might be more kids that are like getting access to this kind of film.
Teenagers.
Yeah. And it's an educational angle for sure, which is a whole angle, right?
So it's about not only, what happens with cults, so what the dangers are, but also, for any kids that are in that situation where they're under undue influence, as they call it.
Yeah,
How to get out, how to
that's
be
a good
creative,
point. I
how to
never
do your own thing. Yeah.
I never actually thought about that. The teenagers who this might affect, because I'm not a teenager anymore. But the movie's basically about a group of teenagers who then make it out of this high control, unduly influenced organization.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's like a coming of age film for teens that they might like see a future path for themselves that they could be proud of or excited to like take on.
Sure. And they're going to
That's
go,
cool.
what are those things that they're using to record in their basement? Tape recorder. What's that? Cassette.
Right. Yeah.
And so you got all this amazing footage of all this old kit, you know, where these two brothers go, Mum and Dad, is it okay if we do a rock band in the basement, you know? And then they obviously built it up from there, and it had a huge following of hundreds of musicians coming through and
Yeah.
playing and recording and making videos and all sorts of fun things. So that's basically the story that you wanted to tell. And also, where are they today in their 40s, and what are they doing now? And yeah, so it's a great synopsis really of the before, middle, and after of that process.
Yeah.
And yeah, just really to wrap it up, just want to say, you know, I'd like to know where if you had a dream come true, where would you like the movie premiere to be?
Oh, on the online movie premiere, like where would it be available? I mean, I think Netflix would be like the premier place because of their global. People know who they are. They're such an. They've changed the world. Like Netflix was so cool 15 years ago, when they were just you could like rent a DVD and not go to Blockbuster and support the big mega corporations. But now they're a machine. Like they're crazy. I think like a place like Vice would be pretty cool. Vice is a kind of an alternate world for kind of exposing the truth or exposing something dark in the world. I think that'd be kind of a good place for it to land. Or even what's the one that's focused on horror and sci-fi? I can't remember at the moment. There's like a whole streaming service that actually has a huge market, but
Okay.
it's like the darker side. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm blowing it right now. Someone could. Oh, you got some comments actually. Is there a link where Derek's asking where can he buy your book? So right now it's available in the Kickstarter. So go to witnessunderground.com. You can get her book. That's the best place to get it. Oh, Shutter. Thank you.
I'll just share the screen again so that you can see what it looks like.
Thank you for the support, Derek. We appreciate it, and all of your help. Derek joined our Discord recently after and helps us get the word out during the Kickstarter. So thank you for being here as well. Okay,
here we go. So it's witnessunderground.com diverts to this Kickstarter, and then as we scroll down, you'll be able to see all the info, and then if you pledge, there's different stratas that you can pledge. So you can start off with the $10 and then go on and tells you all about the people in the movie, and all the different packages. So here we've got the $10, the $25, which gives you the film, and then you've got all the extras coming up with the $50 pledge, bonus content, and some featured books, ebooks, and then of course you've got the big one there, the $100 Nuclear Gopher super package.
And that one has her book. You can see it there. There's a whole bunch of books in front, and it's this one at the kind of sunset screen that we had at the opening of the video.
Yeah,
featured there.
They're like Rising from the Ashes of Jehovah's Witnesses by ISIS, all things.
Yeah, there are 6 ebooks,
the
9 total books.
Wow, look at that. So the merch table is that the biggest? Is there another one?
Yes. Oh no, there's one more, which is like everything physical. It's like every CD that's available is digital, and the other packages is every single CD. So it's like 32 actual physical things, actually physical music CDs, plus vinyl, plus the tape cassette, plus a VHS, plus like everything cool and vintage. Ryan's gonna have it all packaged and handmade and put into like a special thing to send if you get the super merch table.
You can geek out to your heart's content on that one. And then you've got your banana.
Yeah, there's one more producer credit, associate producer credit. That gets your name in the credits and on IMDb. And
Banana.
Derek just asked a good question. If you've already contributed, can you increase your backer level, or are you locked in at what you first selected? If you just write a message and say, hey, I put in the amount of money to hit the other thing, I want to upgrade, we'll take care of it on an individual basis. So as long as you write a message, we'll make sure that you get what you want.
Okay. Well, you've got 4 backers for that one, so that's great.
Yeah, we have one more associate producer left, and then it's done. In this, you can record your own song at the New Choreographer Studio. Ryan has an active studio. He's actually recording an artist yesterday. So he's sort of like, he's just busy. He's busy making music, which is really cool. So that's for $1,000. You can track your music there, and that's a special thing in Minneapolis.
You know how much it costs to go in the studio. I did mates rates about 20 years ago, and it was $1,500 per track.
And that's as a friend price.
He was a professional producer who'd worked with Boy George and Debbie Harry in her comeback years, and so so it would have been £3,000 20 years ago for a track. Otherwise, so my dad had kind of kindly given us some money, and I decided to invest it in doing I think it was 2 tracks in the studio, and I never regretted that. It was the best money I'd ever spent on something.
Yeah.
So this is like a bargain in comparison, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised. There's like hundreds of musicians in Minneapolis, where, I mean, the studio's in Minneapolis, you have to get there, but there's hundreds of musicians connected to this project, and who know about it. And so I'm kind of surprised it hasn't gone already, because that's like a really good bargain to have an entire studio plus the crew to record.
Sure. And I mean, you've got the pick of people you could ask, are there any bass players or drummers or whatever? You could just get loads of help and support around that, couldn't you?
Not just like musicians, studio musicians, but also like all the equipment, all the expertise to record, plus people that have been producing music for 30 years of their lives. Like, this is what they do at your disposal. So if you have an idea for a song, you can go track it and have it produced by the team there.
Yeah. And then co-producer credit.
Yeah, it's a higher level credit. A lot of people that are following this project don't know much about the film world, but the co-producer credit is a much more highly regarded credit, and they call it above the line. So it's like, it's the first group in the credits that you'll see, and it's like the most important people in the movie, basically. Co-producer is really up there with the director, and we only have one, so buying in supports us, and it's like your money is as valuable as your effort to make the thing in this case. Plus you get all the the $500 worth of everything Ryan's going to make for you, and all the special VIP invite in-person premieres that were coming up. They'll be treated like a king there. So there's some special.
We need a party. I need an excuse to come over to America.
Yeah. You're not so far away, right? You've been in Mexico. You can pop up to the States.
Yeah. So you are the digital nomad right now, okay?
Yeah.
So
this is my 8th year living abroad from the States. I love it. It's the best.
Wow. So you've had a lot of fun. You've done a lot of hard work, and now it's time to welcome your friends to support and get this out there. So thanks so much for having the interview with me tonight. I've enjoyed that, and look forward to hearing what happens in the next week. It's exciting.
Yeah. So Denise, your book is available in the Kickstarter, and we'll put the links in this video to where it will be available after the Kickstarter is over. So if anybody's watching this in the future, if you want to buy her book, and the Kickstarter is not running anymore, links in the show notes.
Great. Okay.
What about your second book and your other project? I know you've got other things going on after you wrote Rising from the Ashes.
Okay, well, that's set in medieval Norwich. So if you like history, if you like the Tudors, King Henry VIII, and some other lesser known characters in Norwich, then that book's that's available too. I'll put the links in afterwards.
Okay, Sounds good. Have you
And
anything else that you're?
my band is Peaceful
Oh yeah,
Cacophony,
yeah.
which is a contrast between, two bandmates who were like black and white, but we just had such a great, we just sparked off each other. So we decided that sometimes it was peaceful, sometimes it was cacophonous, and it just came out right somehow. So we've got loads of good songs we're releasing, and you can buy them as individual tracks on Bandcamp.
Yeah, there's
So,
actually been some conversation that in our Discord with some of the other creators that they're like, "Oh, I want to use Denise's song for this thing I'm doing." So
yeah,
hopefully there'll be some collaborations that are coming out of that. You've definitely got some really fun, catchy songs that are really much about liberation, which is really
sure.
on brand for our projects. I'm glad you're working with us.
Yes, I think the earworm they were saying was Spare Me, and it's written about walking away from the witnesses and my mother, unfortunately, but that was 30 years ago and still being shunned. But I wasn't so angry anymore. I just wanted to express myself when I wrote that a couple of years ago. But yeah, I've done all sorts. I've done angry ones. I've done freedom songs, and then I've done peaceful ballads as well. And David and I have really collaborate well on that. He's a professional rock musician, so he's travelled with some really big bands in the last 17 years. And he does all the instruments and all the production, so it sounds really good.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Sounds
Yeah,
professional.
really
What would
lucky
you,
to have him.
how could you describe the peaceful cacophony interaction that you have? Like, what is the dynamic usually? How does it start? Who's the writer? Who has the
Yeah,
inception?
so I basically I'm the lyricist and the melody maker and the singer, and then everything else is David. He has written songs in the past that he's presented to various different stars for whatever reason. Maybe it didn't get included in an album, and so I've said to him, let's have a listen. And I've liked some of his back catalogue, so I've then sung for him or written the lyrics to a tune.
Mm.
So we kind of work both ways. We've both done everything like that together. So it's a mixture. But yeah, my forte is lyrics and
Cool.
singing.
Yeah, it's actually
Love it.
interestingly similar to Cindy Elvendahl in Witness Underground, where she kind of starts. She talks about in the movie how she asked her, well, maybe it's in the full interview, for her father, because her father played guitar. Like, how do you give me 3 chords? And she would like learn to play a few chords and then go in her room and like make a vocal melody and like some lyrics. And that was like the inception of her making music. And then she got with this group of people and they were also doing it. And then that just became like her thing. Like, she's this powerful vocalist and melody writer and would write like the basic notes of the song to get it going. And then the whole rest of the artist would fill it in. So it's kind of interesting to see like another similar.
That's great. I love that, and yeah.
Have you played with others before or after that?
Yes, I've got a couple of people that do play acoustic, so I've collaborated with them for venues like open mic nights where they do candlelight acoustic nights.
Okay, that's
So
cool. In Norwich?
that locally, and then hopefully David will be coming on board, to fix up some rock, plugged in as well. So
Very cool.
watch out for that in the next year.
That's so fun. I love
Yeah.
it. Well, everyone check out Peaceful Cacophony and check in the campaign for Rising from the Ashes of the Jehovah's Witnesses. I've read it. It's a great memoir, and there's a bunch of self-help angles in there. It's valuable to our greater former religious people community. So thank you for writing that. It's a big move to go write a book. I'm actually thinking about starting my own. So hopefully in the next year, I'll have something in the works. I brought all my journals with me on my travels. So I'm going to write something.
Okay. Well, can always come to me for some tips if you like.
Okay. Yeah, I would love that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
That's the spirit of our community here. It's like, we've all done something creative. Like, we can get each other to give advice or work on the project. So
that's right.
Thanks again. Thanks again, Denise, for coming on today and for being a part of the Witness Underground project and for helping with the Kickstarter. You're doing an awesome job. And And everyone join the Kickstarter. We were
Yeah.
65% of the way there. We have 9 days left. So really appreciate everyone's support. And if you can't support financially, share this video on YouTube, on Facebook, on social media with your friends, family. Direct outreach is king. People need to hear about this film.
Good luck, Scott. Well done.
Thanks, Denise.
See you soon.
Okay, see you. Bye.
Yay, bye.